Greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical. Now just calm down. This is not like an expose of my new C cups. You'll get to see them later. Man, this is just, I thought I'd show you a little behind the scenes of how this all comes together. Because it's not always fun. It's not always pretty. So I'm going to take my son out and go grab some chicken wings, a little health food. And I'm like, hey, let me take a quick shower. So I go to shave and a little nick, boom, and I'm gushing blood like I'm a victim of O.J. Simpson. I mean, I'm not kidding you. ServPro would have got out of here if they'd have seen this bathroom. I couldn't stop the bleeding. I mean, this is my little blood rag toward the end. But, I mean, imagine trying to, I had to dry myself and do the whole thing holding this thing like this because blood's just running down my freaking chest onto the floor. I'm destroying towels. I'm destroying the freaking bathroom here. So, why am I sharing this with you? Oh yeah, my son did a good job on the medic call. I literally ran upstairs, medic. He's getting ready to join the Air Force. Actually, he joined the Air Force. He's getting ready to ship out. So, did they say ship out in the Air Force, or did they say I'm getting ready to fly out? I don't know. All joking aside, because I am a bleeder. I mean, I'm not a hemophiliac. But I'm like 2 clicks above it, I guess. And let me say this to you. I know I'm not naked. Sorry, guys. But these are things you got to consider. I always consider this. On the one hand, I think, well, the odds of me having a stroke are probably slim to none. But imagine getting shot or worse, cut, stabbed, when you know that even a little nick like this will bleed for hours. That's something you got to be aware of. Are you aware of your bleeding situation and your medical situation? Do you take that into consideration? So you might ask yourself, well, what could you do about it, man? I mean, how's that going to affect your staying alive in a shootout or, a life-threatening situation? That's a good question. But what it does do is I make sure that in my vehicle and in my go bags, I have quick clot, I have super glue. I have, plenty of, bandages that I can layer and materials and things that can be layered up. Like if I was alone and I righteously cut an artery, you gotta know what you're doing. And if you don't know your own medical situation, you can't treat yourself, So if I'm alive and conscious, after a car accident or whatever, and, the rescuers come to see if they have a gurney heavy enough for me or strong enough for me. If I'm still conscious, I'll let them know. Hey, I'm a bleeder. Let the doctor know that. Now, some of you, I don't even like bringing this up, but some of you might remember a lot of videos back. God, it was like, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like the bloody colonoscopy of 2010, something. I had such a nightmare that I hesitate to even talk about it. There's only, well, let me put it to you this way. Guys, if you're over 50, I'm almost 56, you got to have those colonoscopies. I mean, colon cancer, you can have your life saved by finding things. So I go do my thing. Oh, wow, we have a couple of small polyps, no big deal. It's like right before, a couple days before Christmas. And it was like a Wednesday before Christmas. So, they put me to sleep. They shove the freaking VHS camera up my ass or whatever they do. I wake up and they're like, oh yeah, well, we found a couple of polyps. And I'm like, what? Don't worry, we just plucked those little suckers out. We didn't even have to cauterize it. Okay. Is that safe? Yeah, don't worry about it. Go home, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. And so I go home, that's Wednesday. Thursday, my dog was alive at the time. And Charlie and I go, looking for arrowheads or take him for a swim at the river. Everything's fine. No activity because I'm all cleaned out from... the preparation. If you haven't prepped for a colonoscopy, you haven't fully lived. And so that's Wednesday. Thursday, I don't go to the bathroom at all. This is pretty graphic, man, and it's a terrible memory. Thursday, allergies, by the way. I get up, man, and I see my stomach is more swollen than normal. I mean, it's like, if you've ever seen somebody, hopefully you haven't, but I've seen many, this is a common thing. If you ever see somebody shot in like the abdomen area, internal bleeding will make their stomach distend. They look like, they ought to be sitting in a bomb crater in Nairobi with a fly walking across the whites of their eyes. I mean, it's terrible because they're bleeding internally. Well, I wake up and I got this big bloated gut, and I feel like, holy shit, man, I got major diarrhea. I just felt this. All right, all I want to say is this. I had been bleeding internally since Wednesday. Now it's like late Friday afternoon. I'm sorry, Thursday afternoon. There's only two things in the whole world that I'm afraid of. Yellow jackets and a toilet bowl full of my own blood. Those are the only things that scare me. And there were no yellow jackets in that bathroom, but let me tell you something. I saw things in there that I can't unsee. The end of that story was, I'm in the hospital for 2 days. I was rigged for a transfusion. That's how much blood I was losing from little teeny polyps. I mean, they couldn't believe it. And literally as they're getting ready to take me upstairs for the transfusion, the blood count started elevating. They were checking it every half hour. And it got to like right 1 pubic hair above the accepted minimums. So my point is, I could have done anything in that situation, but be aware of what's going on with your body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every little bit helps. There's really no cool way to end this. So I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for listening. Yeah, I'm going to go dig some chicken wings. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. LMS Tactical, I'm out.